Ooh, let me get this straight. Virginia's utility bills is about as high as mortgages. This can't be right. We're about to jump right into it and see what the hell has happened in Virginia.
You are about to start paying AI's electricity bill, and it's going to be one of the biggest issues in 2026. In the Virginia election last month, a Democrat flipped a key seat in a deep red district running on one issue alone, the rising costs of AI data centers. Oof. And voters in Georgia recently staged a landslide revolt, ousting 2 Republicans for the Utility Commission over surging energy bills. For the first time, electricity bills aren't a side issue. They're a career killer for these politicians. Electricity is the socialized cost of AI. Trillion-dollar companies are getting the profit, but you're the one paying for the new transmission line on your monthly bill. A single AI data center uses as much power as 100,000 homes. To be fair, tech companies like Google and Amazon claim they're paving their own way with new power plants and renewable energy deals. But in states like Indiana, even with the safeguards, residents are still on the hook to pay up to 40% of the cost of hooking up these giants to the grid. People were already skeptical of AI because of jobs and slop and whatnot, but now this has the potential to become a real political revolt. You can imagine that the cost of energy will be the new cost of eggs in 2026.
I can only imagine a big AI center getting pushed and built into your backyard, and yet all those millions and billions of dollars, you still have to put up a giant lump sum of your own money just to pay for the grid to build it. All right. You don't get anything from it. You don't get a job from it. OK, because there's limited jobs. All right. You might get exposed to nitrates. That's what we're seeing in Oregon right now based on the water around data centers and all kind of stuff. All right. You might even get into an accident because guess what? They're building and added on to the infrastructure and roadways around those data centers. We've seen that a lot, too. But Virginia's utilities bills are skyrocketing because now those residents have to pay for these new data center costs. Let's just go ahead and take a little bit more of a look into it.
I just got my energy bill for the month. Dominion Energy out of Virginia. My bill has tripled.
Damn.
Like, I usually pay about $200, on a regular, $300 on a high note. $621. That's more than my car payment. What the actual hell is going on? Yeah.
What's happening in Virginia is that utility ratepayers are paying those costs for that energy infrastructure. Yep. And that's increasing their utility bills. That's what's happening in Virginia. I would love for you to come out to my district, actually. It's only about 30 or 40 minutes away, and talk to people, and they'll show you their energy bills. I'll show you my energy bill. It has gone up, and it has gone up because of data centers. And we're doubling the number of data centers in my district over the next 5 to 10 years, and that's going to double, maybe triple our energy costs.
Every county in West Virginia went red in 2024 based on the promise of having their energy bills cut in half. Fast forward to today, and people are paying more for the utilities than their mortgage. As an example, one woman had an electric bill, just the electric bill, at $940. People are literally shutting themselves in rooms with just one space heater and turning heat off to the rest of their houses so that they don't have to pay these crazy bills, but they're still through the roof.
I can only imagine, dude. You thought that they've been lying to people since day one. What do you think? What do you think? They've been lying since day one. You really thought they were going to lower your utility bills and also build a giant ass AI center around town with the promises of all this yippity yap? We're going to do this. It's going to ask for jobs. It's going to bring in new stuff. Blah blah blah. Yeah, you thought wrong.
It's hard as somebody with a level of sympathy and empathy to want to just cast these people out and say that's what you voted for. But in the same breath, this is what you voted for. You cannot tell me otherwise. The man who said he was going to cut your bills in half is a serial con man. And he said, drill, baby, drill, but you're not seeing the results because he's a professional liar. I feel for the people of West Virginia. I feel for the people that are suffering, but my give a damn is also busted. This ruby red state is paying the absolute price.
Because something to me is just not making sense. Every single electric bill I'm getting is looking like,
God damn, $13.81 for an electric bill. That's mortgage.
This is how all my electric bills are looking. How is it humanly possible that I was using 1,500 and less kilowatts every single month in 2025, 2024, and 2023, but somehow I'm using 5,000 kilowatts of energy now in 5,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000 the last 4 months. Something doesn't make sense, bro. And
Hell
every time
no.
I call Dominion Energy, they tell me that I'm tripping. I need somebody to help me understand
You're not tripping, dude. You're paying the ultimate price in the whole state is.
how a human can use 5,000 kilowatts when I'm never home. Never home. I don't use TV. I don't use heat. I don't understand.
If it keeps going up like this, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do because my wages aren't rising, but my bills keep rising.
Paige Shallow's winter power
the
bills
goddamn
ranged
America.
from $350 to $400.
$362.98.
Now, even in warmer months, she's paying about $50 more than previous years.
Which is pretty significant. $50 a month is absolutely not nothing.
For a single mom of two, that $50 matters. Shallow says she does everything she can to conserve, but it's still high.
We've heard from so many people around Virginia that they're having real problems paying those bills. They're having to choose between paying their electric bill or another bag of groceries or what bills they're going to pay. So it was really important to look at, what's going on here.
That's what Clean Virginia Executive Director Brennan Gilmore says they wanted to find out. A new Clean Virginia report says Dominion Energy bills are rising faster than inflation. The report points to four main causes: outdated regulatory framework, dependence on fossil fuels, tariffs, and the rollback of federal tax credits, but also the rapid growth in data centers.
Data centers use a tremendous amount of energy. Some of them, the largest ones, use as much as is produced by one nuclear plant, which is pretty crazy when you think about it.
But Dominion Energy disagrees. In a statement, a spokesperson said, quote, "This report is just factually wrong. For more than a decade, our residential rates have remained below the national average, and they've gone up substantially less than the rate of inflation." Dominion says it invested in reliability and clean energy to keep costs down. On data centers, the company said, quote, "We have also put in place some of the strongest protections in the country to prevent data center costs from being passed on to residential customers. Data centers are not the central driver in the increasing cost of energy. It's inflation for supplies and fuel." We know now there's new laws taking effect in Virginia aimed to shield customers from fuel spikes and prevent costs tied to data centers from hitting residents. For Shallow, who's just trying to keep the lights on, relief can't come soon enough.
God damn, dude, just imagine. They're saying they're doing everything they can to protect the citizens, but yet their utility bills continue to rise. Where's the protection? Other than that, let's go ahead and jump into some facts real quick and see what's really going on. So, why utility bills are so high in Virginia? Well, fuel costs, especially natural gas, jumped hard. Virginia relies heavily on natural gas, about 60% of power generation. Damn, I can see why. Price of gas ain't cheap these days. Gas prices spiked after 2021 and have stayed volatile. Natural gas, I get it. Example, fuel costs alone jumped 60% in some areas. Bottom line, when gas go up, your bills goes up. Damn, when with the war going on, all energy right now is just going up, right? Infrastructure is getting expensive, and those power grids, repairs, replacement, we get it. That's getting another cost. Demand is exploding, especially from data centers. Now here, this is the third point on this list. Virginia data centers data center capital of the U.S. Massive AI data centers are insane amount of electricity. Demand is rising fast, could increase by 183% by 2040. Whoa, ain't nobody living in Virginia, boy. You're gonna be burning wood, man. You better hook up that old water wheel to a natural waterway somewhere along the way to generate some sort of electricity, or get you some goddamn solar panels. That's what it's looking like. And extra charges, riders, quote unquote, keep stacking up. Even when the base rate doesn't charge much, bills go up because of storm recovery costs, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, we already know gas can make electricity go up because that's you got to pay for that. Right now with the way gas is, I can see why Virginia is, especially the way they say they rely on gas 60% to run the homes there. That can be a big problem, and I totally get it. Fossil fuels, the infrastructure getting old. But it doesn't seem like Dominion is really caring. They're still hitting their residents in Virginia with massive bills. The price of utility bills are matching the price of a mortgage bill. That is crazy. Leave your thoughts below, man. What do you think? What's the highest? All right, where are you from? What is the highest you ever paid in electricity? Mine was after a hurricane. It was about $487. I live down south in Louisiana. Let me know what you've paid the most on. That is crazy.